Hi, folks. This is Elgin Subway Surfer Bowling, your creative caricature marketing consultant, with part four of how I became a caricature artist. In the last installment, I spoke about the importance of finding a mentor, and in my case, my mentor was Kenley Dillard, an artist that I had met, a street artist who worked in Times Square, 42nd Street in New York City, the caricature street artist mecca of the world. And Kenley took me under his wing and taught me the art of drawing caricature on the street. I emphasized in previous video the importance of drawing a lot in order to develop your skill. And as a street artist, I drew a lot, and I drew often, and I drew it in the one of the tourist capitals of the world, New York City. So I got a lot of experience drawing caricature. But one day, something crucial happened that changed my life. Kenley and I were drawing, and out of nowhere, he says, "Have you ever heard of a caricature organization called the NCN?" And I said, "What is that?" The NCN, he said, stands for the National Caricaturist Network. He said it's an international caricature organization uh, where thousands, hundreds, I guess, of caricature artists from around the world meet every year and compete, in these caricature tournaments, I guess. At least that's the way I understood it. What I later found out was that the group spent a week together in various parts of the country, mostly Las Vegas, Orlando, sometimes California. They just hire a hotel and they would just literally have seminars and contests for a week. You just became saturated in caricature. It was like I would have to say, it was like a school of caricature, like a crash course. And he really encouraged me to become a member because when you become a member, you also had access to the best, and I mean the best, caricature artists in the world. The NCN, now known as the International Society of Caricature Artists, they print a magazine called Exaggerated Features. This is one issue, which is jam-packed with articles. This is one of my articles. I've written several articles over the years, you know, um, for the magazine. And like I said, it features the best caricature artists currently working, uh, not only, in the United States, but in parts of Europe, in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, in Asia, Southeast Asia, in Japan, in Korea. Just everybody just kind of comes together, in this organization, and for a week. And so my wife was gracious enough to allow me to go 1 year, and the cost was considerable. I got to admit that with the airfare and the hotel fees, you might imagine. It really does help to have a supportive spouse, I will say that. But another lesson is if you really want to learn something, you must be willing to invest time and energy and money to learn it. There's a lot of stuff that you can get for free, and a lot of people want a free ride. Yeah, but in order to really learn something, if you're really serious, you're going to be willing to invest in yourself to improve your education. And I highly recommend, that there come a time when you're putting your money where your mouth is, which I did. So I went to this convention, and the first time that I went there, I thought I could draw. I met people who literally made me feel like I was drawing stick figures. And what I learned was there was more than one way to do caricatures. There was anything from photorealism, highly exaggerated, to minimalism, that looked like stick figures almost, and yet they made it look like the person. So I became saturated in that world, and I was told by a guy who took me under his wing when I was there. His name was Mel. Mel Latrop, I might be pronouncing his name wrong, who told me at the end of this week, what's going to happen to you is at the end of this week, when you go back to where you come from, your art style is going to radically change, and that you are going to, by osmosis, pick up what you learn here, which I thought was really an impossibility. So I did a test. I picked out a person at random, and who I later found out his name was Steve Doris, very talented artist. Uh, and I drew him, and then at the end of the week, getting on the plane, I drew him again just to see for myself a before and after shot. And let me tell you, my style radically changed. I can't tell you why that happened, but I do have a theory, and it's this. Um, if you're going to improve as a caricature artist, and this is crucial, you have to surround yourself with people who are better than you. I don't know what that does. Maybe the principle is it somehow makes you reach higher when you're in the company of people who are better than you. Okay, it just somehow it just does something for you. Using the fighter analogy, since I've done karate, the guys in our gym, were really good because we had some exceptional fighters in our gym. And when you sparred with them and worked out, even if you got beat, it forced you to be good. When you sparred somebody else from another school, you realize that although you may have sucked, comparatively speaking, in your gym, you was able to just run all over that guy in his gym. You know what I mean? So, same thing happened, with the caricature. The organization, the NCN, is now known as the ISCA. That's the International Society of Caricature Artists, and you can find out about them online. I'm not getting paid to rep that organization. I'm not, as of this video blog, even as active in the organization as I used to be. But, truth has to be told, I have to credit the ISCA, or at the time the NCN, with accelerating my caricature development. And it's because I came in contact with so many giving and talented caricature artists that I really can't name them all, but I'll name a few. There's Roger Hurtado, who helped me a lot as I corresponded with him. He was one of the presidents. There's Glenn Ferguson, one of my favorite exaggerators who I really admire and have repped him. There is New York City artist Allison Geldman, who taught me the business side of caricature, and just really was a inspiration to me. And then there were just artists that I knew from afar and admired their work. Jeremy Townsend, just a fantastic cartoonist. There's Steve Silver, who drew Kim Possible. There's Tom Richmond, who's a Mad Magazine artist who I actually met, my first day there, and spoke with him for a little while, Tom Richmond. There's Joe Blum, a phenomenal caricature artist and exaggerator. And man, I know I'm leaving names out, but just so many. Various artists from Japan, Shinichi Miyagi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. An artist named Tomo. Just all of these people. Oh yeah, and there's Jan Abdebeek, also from Germany. Just all of these artists helped to influence me. I copied them, I wrote them, I practiced what they did, and they just helped my style to be what it is today. And so if there's anything that if you're just going to develop as a caricature artist, you need to surround yourself, however you do it, whether you go to a convention, whether you meet with a group, whether you correspond, with somebody, even me, you can definitely make yourself grow exponentially as an artist as you surround yourself with people better than you. And that's what I did. This is why I am the artist that I am today, and this is definitely what you can do to become a better artist. Well, that's it for this segment. Let me know what you think. This is Elgin Subway Surfer Bowling, your creative